Hello and welcome to Living Word, growing a family that experiences every promise of God. You're listening to another life-changing word from Pastor Scot Anderson. For more information, visit our website at livingwordonline.com.
We're in the middle of our series called Unmasked, Discovering the Real You. From an early age, the enemy realized that if you were the real you, he couldn't stop you from fulfilling your purpose and your destiny. He couldn't keep you out of peace and joy and happiness. So he worked hard from a young age of bringing rejection into your life and having people point out the things that they thought were wrong and things that were different. And all the things that God put in you to be different, to be a masterpiece, the world rejected. And so what happens is over time, to keep ourselves from more hurt and more pain, we put on masks. And we wear masks into our job, and we wear masks in our relationship, and we wall people off. But here's the problem, is those masks that we wear just keep us in the cycle of what we want to avoid. They keep us in the cycle. So you have a mask that maybe you were told you were shy. And so I've walled off and I walk into a room and I'm reserved and I don't smile. I don't say hi to anybody because I don't want to be rejected. But at the end of the day, when I left it, I didn't meet anybody. I got rejected because of the mask that I put on. You weren't created to be shy. You weren't created to be wearing that mask. You weren't created to have all these different things that we put on. You were created to be you, a great you. God made you perfect the way that he made you. We're dog people. It's just the way we are. I just grew up a dog. We're a dog family. But here's the problem. Every dog that we got, the kids, we have 5 kids. You're busy. You're running here and there. And you got singing practice. You got dance. You got wrestling. You got soccer. You're all over the place. And so you get a dog. You're excited. But then nobody's home. And you have no time for the dog, right? And then nobody has time to potty train the dog. So the dog goes to the bathroom in the house. So then the dog becomes what's called an outside dog. And then the wife feels like nobody's paying attention to the dog. And so then we have to give the dog to a family that's going to pay attention. This has been our cycle. Oh, cycle. We get a dog, and we can't. So finally, me and Holly decided, you know what? Cats don't go. They go to the bathroom in the litter box, right? So we get a cat. So we got little Charlie, little black little kitty, little Charlie. Put a little bell, a little collar with a little bell on little Charlie. He was so cute. We play with. But we got the only cat in the history of cats that won't go to the bathroom in a litter box. The only cat ever. So Charlie became, I think the technical term is an outside cat, very fast. You can't use this, so he became an outside cat. And our backyard, was just a plethora of just amazing wildlife out there. All the different birds and squirrels and critters and animals and everything out there. Now, cats were designed to hunt. They have everything that they need to be able to hunt. And I was outside and I was studying, sitting in a chair, and I saw, all the birds are flying around, everything. And all of a sudden, Charlie, he gets down. You know how a cat gets all low? He's all creeping in the grass. Now, he's equipped to be a hunter. Everything about him. He's quiet. He's stealthy. He's got everything to get himself the bird. But he has a bell around his neck. So he's all, ting, 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 ting. And he never gets closer than 30 feet, and the birds all fly off. And as a cat, he's like, what am I doing wrong? Something's wrong with me. I'm supposed to be able to hunt. I'm supposed to be able to get these things. That's what a mask is to you. The enemy gets you to wear this little bell, this little mask, and though you were equipped for greatness, though you were equipped for peace and joy and to be happy all the time and not to be depressed and to be down, to be fulfilling your purpose, though you have those things in you to do it, that little ding-a-ling-a-ling, that little bell continues, come on somebody out there, continues to push away God's best in your life. And it isn't until you and I learn to strip off the masks and just to be the you that you were created to be. Be the real you. Watch the scripture here in Ephesians. For we are God's handiwork. Somebody say handiwork. That's handiwork. He created. He worked on. There was a time in eternity that God said, we're going to create Scotty. Right? And he's like, how much clay we got? Okay, we don't have a lot, but that's all right. We'll work with Scotty with what we have. And he took the Scotty clay and he worked it and he gave him certain gifts and talents and ability. He said, this is his purpose. This is his destiny. And they said, okay, we got to make sure he has this and has that. And he created, I was a handiwork, just like you are. And he said, created in Christ Jesus to do what? To do good things, to do great things, which God prepared in advance for you and I to do. Everyone in this room, you've got great things that God has destined you to do, that he prepared, that he took a moment out of eternity to create you, to make you. A mask is designed to cover up what you don't like. know what a mask is? Like if I wear a mask, I'm trying to cover something up, something that I'm ashamed of, something that I don't like about myself. That's what I do. Today, I want to get across to you that you'll never be able to go through life unmasked until you learn to love yourself unconditionally. Because everything that I don't like about me, I'm always going to mask. Everything, come on, somebody. I know some of you already, right? Everything. So if I don't like something about me, I have to put a mask on before I go out. If there's something about me I'm ashamed of, there's something that I don't like about myself, then I'm going to have to put a mask on to be able to cover what I don't like. And today's message is that you have to learn. I think it is the foundation of a great life. You have to learn to love you exactly the way that you are in an unconditional manner, that you just love that you love you, that God took time to make Scotty, and everything that he put in me was important to God. And how important is it that I love everything that he put in me, everything that he poured into me? And as I begin to love me, everything in my life begins to rise to a higher level. Watch this in Mark. Go with me to Mark chapter 12, verse 30. Mark 12, 30 and 31. This is Jesus talking. They said, hey, tell us what's the most important things to be working on in life? What's the most important commandments? And Jesus said this, and I want you to grab a hold of this concept. Because of the whole Bible, Jesus is talking to you and I and to everybody up in the future. He's like, if you can pick anything to work on this. I know there's a whole other thing. You're working on these things. No. If you work on this, everything in life will fall in place. If you work on this, you don't have to work on envy, because if I work on this, envy seems to go away. And if I don't have to work on my anger, because if I work on this, anger will just go away. And if I work on this, come on, somebody. He says, love the Lord your God with all your hearts and with all your soul and with all your mind and with all your strength. The second is this: love your neighbor as yourself. There is no commandment greater than these right here. The foundation to a great life is love God, love others, and love myself. If I can do those three things, everything seems to just fall in place in life. But here's the thing. The Bible says I can't love God, who I cannot see, unless I can love my neighbor, which I can see. So in order for me to be able to love God, I got to be able to love my neighbor. But if I love my neighbor as myself and I don't like myself, right? So if I don't love me, I can't love you, which means I can't love God, which means the foundation to a great life starts with me loving me in an unconditional manner. I got to love me. Everything about me, everything that was created about me. If I can learn to love me, I can learn to love you, which means that then I can love God. But without loving me, I don't like you because I don't like me. If I don't like me, I don't like anybody that's around me, which means that I have trouble then loving God with all of my heart, with all my strength and everything that I have in me. Think about a great day. A time when you were high on yourself and on life. You were just loving it. I don't know, maybe you just got the job of your dreams. Maybe you just graduated. Maybe you just got a new car and you're driving home. You're so excited about the car that you got. Maybe you just finished off a turkey hungry man dinner. It's got the little cranberry thing in there. It's just the greatest thing in the world. And you're just high on life. Life is, maybe you just met your love of your life and you're just thinking and you're high on life. When you were high on life, people could do things that used to annoy you, and it didn't seem to annoy you. You seem to just overlook it. Somebody cuts in front of you in traffic, you're like, get in there. I hope you have a good day. That's awesome. You be blessed. You got to get somewhere faster than me. I don't mind. Get on in there, right? Somebody says something rude to you, you're like, you're so cute. Oh, my God, I can't believe you said that. That's fine. I get it. Your things aren't going good. It's not going as good for you as it is for me, but that's all right. I love you anyway. You're able to love others when you're high on life, when you're high on yourself, when things are going good. And this is the foundation that I'm telling you. If you learn to love you, loving people are easy. It's when life isn't going good and you don't like yourself that somebody does something little that you just explode on them. Why? I don't like me, so I don't like you. I don't like anybody. I don't like anything. And so if I can get the foundation right and I can begin to love myself unconditionally just the way that I am, and I begin to love me, life begins to go to that higher level that we're talking about. I was in a mall, and you know how they walk around and they take a little survey sometimes? I I usually don't have time, but I just felt it. I'm feeling it. So I'll do your stupid survey. There you go. So I'm just being a loving person. That's what I'm doing. That's what I try to do. And so I'm taking the survey, and they're going through all the questions. And he comes to a question. He goes, name 3 things that you love about yourself. And I go, I love everything about myself. And he goes, well, no, just your top 3. I'm like, well, that's hard to choose. I mean, I like everything. I love everything about Scotty I love. He goes, stop, just give me your top 3. I said, well, all right. I love my personality. I love how smart I am. I love how hot I am. Those are the 3. Those are the top 3. I love those 3 things. And he kind of laughed. He said, all right. And he said, all right, now name 3 things that you don't like about yourself. And I quickly said, nothing. I love everything about me. He goes, no, seriously, name 3 things that you don't like about yourself. I go, I don't have any. I love every single thing about myself. And then he did this. He looked me up and down as if he was giving me a hint. Like I didn't have the answer. He's like, it's your height. It's how tall you are. Just say it real quick. I'll write it down for you real quick, right? I said, no, I love every single bit of who I am. Because, and I'm sure somewhere in the dark resources of my mind, something tries to creep in there or something that I want different about me and something. But I from the 8th grade, I said that earlier when we were praying over the kids. From the 8th grade on, I would not allow myself ever to speak bad about myself. I won't allow it. That thought, so I've made myself love myself exactly the way that I am. Jesus, see, if we want to be like Christ, come on, somebody out there, if you want to be like Christ, you never find Christ walking around and going, man, I wish I had Mark's cool hair. How come I don't have cool hair? Right? And he's super tall. How come I'm not as tall? And how come I can't eat that? How come I can't? Right? We go through all life of saying, I wish I was this person, and I wish I was like that, and I wish I had that, and I wish I had their metabolism, and I wish I had their legs, and I wish I had their height, and I wish that I had their way. And we have all these people that we wish we were like, but until you can love who you are, you won't be able to take off the mask. I love me exactly. God crafted me in this manner. He crafted me exactly the way that I am. I asked the guy, because I'm always looking for pastor moments. I said, well, what's normal? He said, well, most people, they can fire off something that they love about themselves. He said about half can come up with 2, without struggling too much. He's like, it's very difficult for a lot of people to come up with 3. I said, well, what about negative? He goes, oh, they can fire those off all day. They can get up 10, 15. They can just keep going of all the things that they don't like about themselves, because we've been brought up by the enemy in such a manner that he wants us to hate all of these things about ourselves so that we will not love ourselves, so I can't love others, and I can't fulfill all that God has for me in my life. And I have to go through life with all these stupid masks because I don't love me. You can that's my wife. In 27 years that she's known me, have I ever said anything bad about me? There's nothing wrong with me. I'm perfect. I love me so much. I won't allow it. Jesus never talked bad about himself, did he? Jesus always talked good about himself to himself and to others. And that's the biggest one, is your inner conversation. Your inner conversation. I wouldn't go up to somebody and start talking about Ray right now and say, hey, Ray is this and Ray is that. Ray'd be like, hey. And he's like 6'6". He's like, hey. Right? And people all around be like, hey, you can't talk about Ray. But we allow ourselves to talk bad about ourselves to ourselves and even to other people. I think we should be the same way. We're like, hey, I'm right here, Scott. You don't get to talk about me that way. You don't get to tell me I'm not smart. You don't get to say that I'm not handsome. You don't get to say that I'm not made perfect. Shut your mouth, or we're going to fight. If Savvy came up, and here's the thing. When I talk bad about me, I'm not hurting me. I'm not hurting me, right? In a way I am, but I'm not feeling it. Now watch this. As Savannah, my 10-year-old, came up to me with a picture, and she just drawn, and she's like, Daddy. And I looked at it, I go, well, that's horrible. It doesn't even look like a cat. What are you doing? What a horrible picture that is. And then she gets upset. I'm like, honey, I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking about the picture. The picture's ugly. You're great, but the picture's horrible. I don't even know what you were doing with that picture. Well, why would she get hurt? Because when I make fun of the creation, I'm making fun of the creator. Right? So I wonder that when I talk bad about myself, God's up in heaven going, hey, that hurts. Because I created you in my likeness and my image. And when you make that about you, you're just talking about me. I'm the one that made you. I'm the one that took time out of the eternity to craft you to do specific things. And every word that I say that is negative about me, I'm just saying it about God. They asked, well, would God change anything about me? They asked 12 famous famous artists of the day. And they said that they took their most famous work and they said, all right, what would you change about this today? Now, I know there's many years since you painted that. What would you change about this? And every artist, man, they actually kind of got offended about it, is what the article was saying. They're like, what are you talking about? Why would I change? What do you mean? Why would I change? It's a masterpiece. People love this thing. I sold it. You don't know how much we sold. Why would I change anything? If I wanted to change it, I would have changed it when I created it. I'm not going to change it now. And I believe the same thing for God. God's looking. He's like, no, I wouldn't change anything about Scott. I wouldn't change one single thing. I thought it through, and I made a masterpiece, and I created him to do what he's walking in. And the same thing for you, that God created you. He crafted you to great things. But until you can unconditionally love every single bit of you, it doesn't mean that I don't want to be better. But it means that I am accepting of who I am and what I have, and I'm trying to be better with what I got. Does that make sense? I mean, I don't want to be better. But I want to take the clay and what God has given me and the gifts and talents, and I want to cultivate it to be better. Now watch this. I'm trying to get on brainy quotes. Here we go. Help me out, somebody. So this is my quote. And throw that up there for me, Betsy. Don't try to be someone else. Become who you were created to be. By Scot Anderson. Come on. Don't try to be somebody else. I want to be them and I'll be that. I have to wear a mask to be somebody else. But it's better if I can just become the me I was destined to be. I can keep working on things. I keep cultivating things. I can keep working on all that stuff in my life. I was looking for a new internet service. I'm not happy with my present internet service, and so I Googled last week, and it gives you all the different lists of services. But you don't know if they're able to get service, to your area. So I called them up to see if they could service my area. Here's the thing: if you have a business, as your business grow, don't make it. I think business people get in a room somewhere and they go, what's a great idea? Let's take our customer service, right, of English-speaking people, and let's take it over to India, because now it's only 7 rupees an hour we have to pay, and get some people who learned English from watching Gilligan's Island and Scooby-Doo, and have them deal with the customers. Because it never turns out well for me. I don't know about you, but I never have a good experience with this. So I call, and Samar guy asked me, this is Samar, how can I help you today? And I already knew. I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be a battle, but that's all right. I'm equipped. I'm ready for this. I said, Samar, here's the thing. I just want to find out if you give me internet where I live. So all I want to know. Samar says, okay, you just give me information. And I go, what is your telephone number? I said, Samar, no, you don't need my telephone number. I said, let me just give you my zip code. And then you just tell me if you do it here. He goes, no. He interrupts me. He goes, no. He's like, I got to follow computer and input everything in order, or I get many, many troubles. And I don't know what many, many troubles. I don't know if that's a beating. I don't know what he gets in India, but he's going to have many, many troubles. So I said, well, I don't want to give him many, many troubles. Maybe many, but I wouldn't give him too many. And so I go, fine. I gave him my phone number, and he typed that in. That was easy, painless. He goes, all right, what is your name? I said, Scot Anderson. And so he says, well, could you please spell? And so I began to spell my last name, because is it E-N or O-N? So I go, A-N. He goes, no. I need a first name spell. Well, no, Scott is not the hardest name in the world to spell here. This is not a hard thing, but that's all right. I'll spell it for you. So I go S-C-O-T. He says, okay, let me read it back to you. I said, okay. He goes, C-L-S-P. It was so far off that I began to question myself and whether I even know English. I was like, okay, we missed this a long ways. Like, we're way off here. I said, no, Samar, no. No, it's Scott, S-C-O-T. He said, okay, let me read it back to you and see if we got it right. I said, good. He goes, C-L-S-P. Okay, well, you got nothing on that run, Samar. Samar, I said it again. I said, okay, hold on, I'm going to go slow. And so, and I was going to do the word association, which I don't know about you, but I'm always horrible. I get on the spot, and I can, S, so I go S, and then I can't think of anything. S, for Scot. Like, I didn't know. That's all I had. I didn't know. I had no S's. There's nothing in the English language I could think of that started with an S. So I go, C, and at least I had C. I went Charlie. I don't know if, Foxtrot Charlie. So I went Charlie. O for otter. Like, I just had otter. And then T for Tom. Tom, I know. It's my middle name. I'm good. So I said Tom. And so he goes, okay, let me read it back to you. I said, okay. He goes, C-L-S-T. I said, Samara, I don't think you're listening. I don't think you're getting this. I said, I'll go slow. I'm going to go one more time. S, as in sandwich. C, as in Charlie. O is in ostrich. T is in Tom. S-C-O-T, Scot. So he heard me. He goes, okay, let me read it back to you. Okay. He goes, C-L-S-T. I broke. My soul broke. I had no more in me. I had no more patience. I did. So I said, Samar, name one person. Name one person in the history of mankind. Name Clisp. Name one. Give me one person. No, I said you could Google it, ask your neighbor, call your parents. There's 7 billion people on the earth today. And I name one person that is named Clisp. Name it. And there was a pause because he was like, I don't know if he thought I don't think he knew I was angry because he goes, you? No, not me. No, I'm not named Clisp. That's not my name. I'm not named Clisp. Stop it. There's not even a vowel. Give me a vowel, at least in my name. He says, and so he goes, do you want me to read it back? I said, no, I don't want you to read it back. I said, that's my name. I'm Clisp. All right, let's just do the last name. I'm done with it. I don't want to do no more. Because in my mind, I go, he doesn't need my name anyway. It doesn't have to be right. I don't even care if my bill says Clisp. And so I said, oh, we're fine. So he goes, spell last name. So I did. I go, A-N-D-E-R-S-O-N. And then he read back to me the most, and I don't even remember what it was, but there was like a G in there, right? There was an L in there, and I just went, yes, Clisp. That's who I am. That's my name. Great. Let's move on to the address. We're 20 minutes right now. We're just through the first name and the last name. So we go to the address. So I said 3952 East, blah, blah, blah. Right? And so he goes, okay, let me read it back to you. He goes, 30, there was a pause, 952. Wait, Samar, what are you doing here? He said, what? I said, no, it's 3952. He says, okay, let me read it back to you. 3952. Samar, are you writing 30, then a 9, 50, then a 2? He's like, well, let me read it back to you. No, I don't want you to read it back to me. I'm just asking you. It's 3952. He says, let me read it back to you. Read it back. 39. So why are you pausing? I know pause. No, you pause. Why you pause? It's 39. I say, is it 30, then a 9, or 39? He goes, yes. No, it can't be both. Samar, it can't be both. It's a 3952, 3952, 3952. Let me read it back to you. If you pause, I'm hanging up, Samar. He's like, I know pause. I said, if you pause, I hang up. I said, and then you many troubles. He's like, I don't want many troubles. Okay. He goes, 39. I hung up. I was done. I had no more for him. 4 seconds later, the phone rings. I answer, yes, this is Samar. We need to finish. Let me read back to you. I said, no, you don't read back to me. He's like, I'd be many troubles. I said, you in many troubles. I hung up. I was done. I don't want internet. I'll never have internet again. I'm done. It's not worth it. He's called me 5 times. He keeps leaving me messages. This is Samar. We need to finish. No, we don't finish. Clisp is out. I'm out. My point is this. I wasn't designed to be Clisp, Handiwork. I was designed to be Scot Thomas Anderson. I love everything about me. I love what God created about me. And I won't allow anyone, and I won't allow myself. And if you'll do this week, I'm challenging you for this week. Make a dedication to yourself that you will not say one bad thing about yourself. Not one. Everything that you say about yourself, to yourself, and to others will be positive. That you will learn to love you because you are crafted, God took a moment at a time to craft you exactly the way you are. He loves everything about you are. And when you make fun of you, you make fun of the Creator. And here's the thing. When you love yourself, it changes how you treat yourself. It really does. Anytime you love something, when I begin to love it, it changes how I respond to it, how I react to it. My buddy Cliff, he's been working here forever. We went golfing some time ago. First time we ever golfed together. And I don't think he golfed a whole lot. Not that he was a good golfer, but just when he showed up, he had the oldest golf clubs and bags I've ever seen in my life. And he was dragging them behind him on the ground. You don't drag your golf clubs, but he was dragging them. And he came up and he kind of threw them up into the carts, and they're all hitting each other. There's no covers on anything. Like we cover our golf clubs, right? We cover them. They have little blankets and little beds that they sleep in so they don't get scratched and dented. We take better care of them than we do most anything in our life. And so, right? And so they're just jangling out. And even when he went to go hit a ball, he would drag his club through the grass. You don't drag your clubs. These are great clubs, right? You don't do that. So this is how he's treating his clubs. He gets up to putt, and my buddy, another buddy that was with us there, he looked, he said, "Hey, let me see that putter. Is that a ping putter?" Cliff says, "Yeah, it's a ping putter." Yeah. So he took it, it was beat up, and he looked at it and he says, "You know, this putter says Scottsdale on it." Cliff's like, yeah, I figured somebody in Scottsdale. He goes, no, you don't understand. This is a first generation ping putter, has Scottsdale on it. This putter's worth a lot of money. Cliff goes, "What's a lot of money?" He says like $500 to $1,000. And so then when he handed back, Cliff was like real like this with it. Then we got over and he moved clubs out of the way, and that club got its own little section. And then he asked me, he goes, "Hey, do you have a cover or something I can use today?" And so I gave him a little cover, and he covered that putter up, because all of a sudden he realized it had value. But here's my point. Did the putter all of a sudden have value, or was it always worth $500 to $1,000? Always worth it. See, it wasn't until he realized the value that it had that it began to change. You were always priceless. You were always worth, right? And until you realize it, you don't change and you don't treat yourself that way. I need right now a single mama, if she don't mind coming on up, that has small children at home. Single mama, small children at home, come on up. Come on, if we have a first one up here, I'm telling you, you're going to get a little blessing today. Come on, single mom, first one. Do we have one? Come on up. Yeah, I love this lady. You're a blessing. Come on up. Here's the thing. I got a $100 bill in my hand. How much is this $100? I only got one. I'm sorry. I said first is first. How much is this $100 bill worth? Oh, $100. Yeah, but what if whoever had it before me treated it like garbage? How much is it worth? Now, what if it was used to buy drugs and it had a tainted past? How much is it worth? Are you telling me that its past and how it was treated does not change how much it's worth? Its creator destined how much it's worth. It's still worth $100 no matter what it's been through, no matter what abuse, no matter what things that happened to it. It's worth $100. You may be blessed. Go back, give the Lord a hand clap. You may be blessed. Here's my point. Your past does not change how much you are worth. Your divorce did not change how much you're worth. Your bankruptcy didn't change. Your fallback and your fall down and the things that happened and the abuse and the things that happened didn't change that you are priceless. You are still worth what the Creator said you are worth. You were made in His likeness and image. And I need to learn to love you exactly the way that you are. I don't want to be anybody else. I love Scotty. Do you love yourself? Go forth this week knowing that you are priceless, that you're a masterpiece. Those things that the world says were different, were wrong, were made different on purpose. Every masterpiece is a one of a kind. And there's things that are different about a masterpiece, and that's the differences are what makes it priceless. What makes you priceless is what's different about you. Thank you so much for joining us today. I know that God really ministered something special to you as we're talking about unmasking today, getting to that place in life where you can be the real you. And today we're talking about loving you. And go this week, just 1 week, of not saying anything bad about yourself, to yourself, and to anyone else. But instead let every word that comes out of your mouth bring life to you, what God created. Hey, we would love it if you could be a part of this ministry. Always bring your tithe to your church. But if this is your church, then you should be giving. And if you watch today, we ask for an offering to help us get this word all over the world. All you have to do is click the little button, give, be a blessing. A blessed life is a giving life. Hey, we encourage you to watch our Wake Up Show every single day. We have a Wake Up Show. There'll be a little something that you can click on, or you can subscribe, or be looking for it on Facebook. It's an incredible 5 to 7 minutes of time with me and my brother where we can get you ready for your day, encourage you, build you up. Hey, you have a blessed week, a prosperous week. We'll be praying for you. See you next week.